All right, it's a tough tribal tonight. Obviously, it's tough when you're in the first one and making friends with everyone. You got to vote somebody out, and there's a lot of emotions. So, really was a painstaking process to figure out who we were going to get out of this game. Wait a minute. No, it wasn't.
I was talking to Claire before tribal council in a group with Eric, and she seemed really gung-ho, ready to vote Ashley out. And like I said before, I was considering working with her.
I did try to, see if I could sway the group a little bit, throw someone else's name out there, but I realized how futile that would have been kind of early on. So I do apologize, Claire. I think that we should be friends since we're both from Chicago. No hard feelings.
And I knew what she was about to do. I'd seen it before, seen her act like that, and I knew. And I was going back and forth like, do I vote with Ashley? Do I vote with Claire? I don't know who to trust.
We're not playing season 2, we're playing season 3. And we're not playing season 1, where Claire woes me her way to the final 3, and then eventually got my vote, which I respected a lot. Julie and I are not going to get pushed around anymore.
So we'll see what happens with the Redemption Island. If she comes back, I know she's going to be gunning for me and Eric, because Eric said he did some heavy placating also to her beforehand. So
Okay, Bikal, getting your first look at the new Gota tribe. Claire voted out at tribal council. The purple cobras, I really appreciate that.
Clearly they had more important things to worry about than voting someone off.
That's right, Julie. Our team is a full unit. We are united and we are strong, and we are here to reclaim our dominance and win another tribal right now.
Go Bikal!
Thank you, Levi. We are going to do a challenge that is a Survivor Quarantine classic, and it is the Survivor Relay. Everyone kind of had a sense that it was coming. Here are the legs. First, someone from each tribe will do 20 burpees. The next person will do a t-shirt strip and fold. That person is going to have to start the challenge wearing 10 t-shirts, take each one off, fold, and then present a stack of 10 folded t-shirts before the next leg begins. The third leg is going to involve cooking an omelet. I said you needed access to a kitchen and 2 eggs. Someone has to cook an omelet as fast as possible and present said omelet to the camera. I asked you all to bring a 12-ounce can of a carbonated beverage. A lot of you assumed rightfully that it was a chug, but it's not just any chug. It is what some of us might call beer soup. You're going to pour that can into a bowl and drink the drink with a spoon until the bowl is completely empty. The final leg, the anchor leg of this race, will be a Survivor word puzzle. You need to unscramble the words and fill out 2 phrases. Within each phrase is circled letters. Those 5 letters spell out a 5-letter word that the puzzle solver then has to message to me. After you do that, you need to communicate that word to the rest of your tribe, and using your body, you must make the letters that spell out that word. So for example, if your word has a T in it, I need one person doing this. If your word has an O in it, I need someone doing this. Once one tribe has all 5 of their letters splayed out on Zoom, that tribe will have won the Survivor Relay. Bikal, you have 2 extra members, and Phil and Audrey are going to sit this one out. Let's get this epic Survivor Quarantine Relay started. We are starting with burpees, and it is Rob versus Ashley. Survivor's ready. Go. All right, it's a neck and neck one right now. We're at 3 each. We're at 5. Man, these two are neck and neck. Wow. Rob's starting to pull away. He's halfway there at 10.
Ashley's
12. 13.
Yeah, Ashley.
Rob's looking a little tired.
You got it, Rob. Woo!
Come on, Rob, let's go. Push
Wow.
it, push it, push
Last
it,
one.
push it.
Ashley,
You
yes.
got it.
Ashley's good.
And Rob finally comes across the finish line. Rob's good.
Good job,
Krista's up. Ashley, turn off your camera. Rob, turn off your camera. That was a really intense round of burpees. That was neck and neck. Ashley gives Gota a slight lead, which, as we may recall, was how the last challenge started. Can Gota hold on to the lead?
Let's go, y'all. Take your shirts off.
Woo!
You do it.
Yeah, Trevor.
This is how people get through college.
Holding form is terrible. How can that
Spring
be
break
possible?
2020.
No, that's a fold. That's a fold.
It's a pile. Whatever. Turning my mic off.
Krista's pile's looking okay. Trevor's is looking okay. We need 10 shirts folded neatly.
You good with it, Sean?
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait, hold it. Hold it up, Trevor. Hold it up. Let me see it. Hold it up.
He just counted it. It's 10.
Wait.
I'll allow it. Go ahead.
How am I going to do that? How am I going to do that, Zach? Guys, I'm about to be naked.
Oh, dear.
Turn off your camera right afterwards. You got it.
She's gonna put on another shirt.
Put on another shirt.
Krista!
Wow. I applaud Krista.
Could have put a blur over it.
Like, we could have
It's
blurred
your-
it out,
I
but
don't
I
think your sister's
respect,
gonna
I respect
edit you
Krista's
like that.
decision here. I respect Krista's decision here. And oh, Krista's pile falls over. She's gonna have to remake that pile before the tribe can move on. Gota's off to a pretty quick lead here. And Julie is on the omelet. The pile falls again. Krista's got to show a good pile of shirts. Show it, like physically hold it up. Let me see the form. Let me see the form of the pile. All right, spin it around. Let me see that it's... All right, great. You're done. Good. Laura is on to the omelet.
Good looking omelet. Are we good?
Is Julie good?
Julie, you're good. That was a good looking omelet. And so here goes Eric pouring his beer into the bowl. He's gonna have to drink that entire bowl with a spoon. He may not tilt the bowl back. Levi is gunning. He is ready to go. Hands shaking with that Miller Lite. Laura, I need a flip, and I need you to present the omelet on a plate.
You're doing great, Laura.
Oh man, that is... all right, that's an ugly looking omelet, but I'll allow it. Levi is
It's
up.
beautiful.
Please turn off your camera, Laura. Levi's pouring
Oh,
his
Eric,
beer.
bring it home. Slurp, slurp.
Eric looks like he's maybe about half.
You got it,
Levi.
Levi.
Yes.
Levi, you
Levi
got it. You
is-
got it.
Chuck,
Levi.
Come on, Eric, you got it. You're almost there.
Levi.
You're making up ground fast. Keep going.
Levi is indeed making up ground. He is drinking what looks like pee from a spoon, but it is in fact beer. Eric is close to the bottom of his bowl. Levi's pace is just a little bit quicker, though. As always, it is
Come on,
going
Eric.
to come down to the puzzle, and it's going to be Sammy
got this,
versus
buddy.
Jenny.
Go, Eric, you're almost there. Keep it up.
Eric's slowing down, Levi. You got this.
It's on
You can
fire.
tilt the bowl at the end to finish it off, but you still have to
Got this,
get
Eric.
it all by spoon.
You got it, Levi.
Tilt
You
the bowl
got
to
it.
finish it off.
You're doing great.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
Eric,
fine.
got that bold tilt.
Levi, you can start tilting, man.
Eric, once you get closer for the
And
leftover.
that's
No, no,
it.
no.
Eric's done. Shannon, send
No,
Jenny
no, no.
the puzzle. And Levi's done. As always, it comes down to the puzzle. Levi, you're fine. You can turn your camera off. Sammy does not look pleased. This is a survivor puzzle. The phrases are survivor phrases. You have all the letters you need within that word bank. And Jenny is cranking. These puzzles are meant to be hard. We tested them on some people earlier today. They are not easy. Both tribes very quiet, letting their anchor legs concentrate. It always comes down to the puzzle. Sammy, out of nowhere, thinks she has the answers, and she has one answer. She has one of the two unscrambles. She needs to solve the second one before she can solve the final 5-letter puzzle. And once she does that, her tribe mates can join her on camera and try to recreate the letters they need to spell out that word. So at the moment, Sammy has what I believe is a 1-clue lead over Jenny.
Jenny just got one.
Jenny
just got all of it. Yep. All right, you're good.
Jenny.
Jenny just got both of her word unscrambles. Now she has to
No, she has it. She has all of it.
She has it.
What I told you guys at the beginning. Turn your cameras on.
Gota can turn their cameras on. Sammy is still finishing up the second word unscramble.
Are you guys missing a person?
I see the
Me.
All right.
I see a T-R-I-B-E. That's gonna do it. Gota wins tribal immunity. Safe from the vote. Wow, what a finish to a marathon of a challenge that had so much going on. My goodness, what a race. That is going to do it for today. Gota, after eliminating the first player of the game in the first tribal council of Fans versus Favorites, you are safe from the vote. Bikal, you will join me for tribal council, where you will vote out the second player of this game who will join Claire on Redemption Island. You have a long time to think about it. Hope you come to the right decision. Grab your torches, head back to camp. Good night.
I was so excited that we won. I really just think everyone did amazingly and really like pulled their weight when it came down to it. And obviously nice to, you know, have a little break and not have to worry about voting someone out at the next Zoom.
I've never won immunity challenge before. Feels amazing. Don't have to go to tribal. Got to watch The Bachelorette last night. Really great things happened.
Ashley, holy crap, that girl is strong. Trevor did an amazing job stripping and folding those t-shirts. I definitely would not have been as fast as he was.
All right, we won. That felt great. And for all you haters out there who have a problem with a pile, here's the unadulterated clothing pile that, while folded messily, is folded. Please inspect. Yeah, here we have it. Here's the pile. It is 10 shirts, and yeah, it's a little messy, but let's look, huh? Let's look at this. This shirt right here. It is folded. See? This shirt right here might be a little wrinkled, but guess what? You unfold that. You unfold that. Look, folded. Bam.
And then, Julie and Eric kicked ass at their beer and omelet stations.
Tonight felt pretty good. And we're gonna try to build off that and chill for a couple days and drink some Shiraz, which is really pairing well with the strawberry cucumber sparkling water that I drank from the bowl a couple minutes ago.
Soft pink shirt. How was this one done? Oh, look at that. Oh, that was pretty easy. Oh, look at that. Huh, folded. Well, bam. Okay.
It was a hard puzzle though. Like when I first saw the puzzle, I was like, WTF, there are a lot of letters. And I remember going over like the stages for the puzzle just so I knew like what all the steps were for the challenge. So I was going over that with everyone. And then so to like illustrate an example, I actually used the word tribe because it was the first 5-letter word that I could think of. So I was like, yeah, so if you're first, your letter's T, and then da 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 da, and crazy enough, the word was tribe.
I took a bit of a risk and uttered the words Final Five out loud with 12 people left in the game, which may be dumb, maybe not, who knows. Sent some feelers out to Julie about in the event of a merge or a tribe swap, she and I act like we're going to play with the returning players or the people that we know from high school, but actually do what we can to keep the Gota 5 alive.
We may have started a little rocky by losing the first challenge, but that other team better watch out because we are gonna kill it.
Everybody seems to be getting along well. We crushed the immunity challenge. It's feeling like it's gonna be a good week.
It'll be good to get a read on what Bikal is doing tonight, based on who they vote out at their first tribal. But happy to say that we don't have to worry about that stuff right now. And we can get some extra Z's in during tribal council.
After they get that, they're going to take 5 circled letters.
That's for you, Jeff.
Well, that was a mess. And not just talking about my omelet. Definitely should have put down some oil in my pan. My apartment still smells like burnt egg.
This really sucks. Don't worry. I got some Russian vodka right here. I'm going to need it. I wore my Waluigi hat for nothing. For nothing.
There was a puzzle section, and I was like, yay, because I've been wanting to do more freaking puzzles. And of course, it's like a word scramble sent from actual hell. I don't know who's supposed to get a 10 and 9 letter word back to back word scramble so easily.
So the results of the first tribal are in. Claire has gone home first, and I gotta tell you, I'm torn with this because on the one hand, great to see a big competitor leave, but warning signs, red flags are flying for me right now because clearly these people who are playing the game, it's fans versus favorite, they've watched, they know what she's capable of, and they're gunning for the big players first. And as a star stud myself, has to be a sign that I'm probably gonna be on the chopping block early. Eyes gotta be on the back of my head, but it also goes to show what a big advantage picking my team has been, because even if we do get down to the vote, I've got Phil, I've got Krista and Levi, all of whom I would expect would want to work with me at least in the beginning stages of this game to keep themselves safe.
Rob does not make me feel good about being aligned with him. He is very dodgy on promises. I think that he doesn't want to promise anything to a friend, but nothing he says is very reassuring. He seems to think that we should vote out either Krista or Sammy, that they're at odds with each other, but I've heard nothing about that. And honestly, if I was them, I'd go after the guys. There's a 4-3 advantage, women to men, And I just know that if I was on the other side, that's the very first thing I would do.
We have like a girls majority, which is always good, but a girls alliance for the sake of a girls alliance never works in the game of Survivor. The two people I'm closest with, I would say, on the tribe are Phil and Laura. Laura, I feel better about than Phil. Laura tells me like a lot of things.
I had previously told Rob that I had been talking to Phil, and we decided to hop on a call and talk about the Sammy situation. And after that, I kind of had messaged Audrey about it, and she quickly called me freaking out, thinking that I was trying to, have her be, a replaceable third person. And I was like, oh, no. Like, by no means. I don't want anybody else knowing about how closely we're working together. So in order to calm her, I actually decided to spoil a big secret that I have. So I'm gonna show you my secret in case you can't tell from my whereabouts. But yeah, so here's my secret.
Oh, we're doing this.
We're doing this.
Okay.
So he's my husband, and yeah. So we were hoping to keep that a secret for a while and use that to our advantage. And
we're doing that. We're ready to eat dinner, so come and get it.
I've been hearing that Sammy has been throwing my name out, which is not surprising at all, considering how last season went with her. And I did reach out a few days ago just to kind of clear the air.
I feel very stressed. I feel like I might need some of my calming strategies, and hopefully they'll see that I'm not the bigger threat, or they'll think I'm somebody they can work with more reliably. I think that I'm a lot more, easygoing, easy to form relationships with than some other people that are on our tribe.
Krista. Am I going to work with her? Probably not. Am I doing things differently this season? Yes. Last season I just didn't really talk to the people that I wasn't working with because I didn't want to go out of my way to be fake or manipulative. But this season I am trying to talk to everybody that I am with or not with, like on my tribe, and it's kind of exhausting. I don't know how other people do this.
I've been talking a little bit with Sammy, but she just isn't online as often. Right now, I'm not trying to throw names out there. It doesn't seem like anybody else is either.
I'm kind of hoping that somebody else will lead the path towards voting off one person, and I'll just hopefully join that group and it won't be me.
A little bit of background, I'm on my deck out here in beautiful Chicago. It's sunny and 70. It's also the morning that Biden was announced as have captured the presidency. So I don't know if you can hear, there's people yelling, people honking horns. It's really quite a sight to see out here.
Hello, fellow Americans. We got ourselves a new president. That was yesterday. So naturally today, as a result of those celebrations, I'm in a Gryffindor onesie, sitting in a bathtub with sunglasses on, so you can probably guess how I'm feeling right now. But, regardless of hangovers, the game must go on.
I just had a great call. I reached out, gotta make sure I'm not on the call anymore. I reached out and Audrey and I jumped on a call and we started talking, shared some thoughts, but we both realized that we both watch Survivor and we both watch Big Brother. And we started talking and we said, look, I want to work with you, you want to work with me. Obviously if things go wrong, we may have to vote for each other, but let's try and work with each other. That was the first level. The second level, we started thinking, what do you think about pulling somebody else in so it's not just the two of us and potentially creating a group chat, creating a little mini alliance, as it were. And she was like, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Kind of like we're like kind of a Russian nesting doll idea. We can start with this core and start adding layers on top, and build it out to have a larger group, but really kind of have a stronger core.
Does that mean I want to go to the end with Phil? No. But, you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's only round 2, so that's a long ways away if I even make there. Who knows? I actually think I have a better relationship with Laura than I do with Phil. So I'm happy to make her the third. I've definitely talked to her the most out of everyone in the tribe. I think we vibe really well.
We have what we call the Drum Corps 3, a little play on words because we all did band, in Audrey, me, and Laura. And I think tonight what we're gonna try and do, we've got a call set up, we're gonna try and add a 4th member, create a group of 4, and use that as our launching pad to decide who to vote out.
So the Drum Corps 3, we had sort of started throwing out the idea of Sammy because the 3 of us had talked to her the least and it just seemed like the best fit. And then we separately went to Krista, and she was on board with it because she thought that Sammy was probably going to be gunning for her from previous season feuds, which, you know, was good for us.
Phil kind of initiated a group message with me, Phil, Audrey, and Laura, which I thought was interesting because I thought we were kind of like core working with Rob and Levi. So me and Phil are in a pretty good position right now because we're kind of in the middle of everybody.
I think all of us are kind of leaning towards Sammy at this point. It feels like we have everybody kind of aligned, so if something does switch, it won't be without at least me or Audrey or Laura or Krista knowing, because we have the 4 out of 7.
I do think Krista is not going to be as chaotic as Rob, but a girl's cutthroat. Like, she's just telling me, well, she cut her boyfriend out last season. I mean, also, I stan. Great move. And I mean, it was at the final 5, so understandable, but I'm looking out. But so I think it's definitely good to have her as an ally rather than as an enemy.
So currently, everybody's being a huge wimp. Nobody wants to put any names out there. Nobody wants to vote anybody out. Everybody just wants to pretend like everything's just hunky-dory and that we are not going to tribal council in approximately 24 hours. So that's like, whatever.
Audrey and Laura were like, well, hey, what if Sammy has the idol? Should we split the votes? And Phil just froze and didn't say anything.
Now in reality, I have the idol, and luckily Krista knows that. And so Krista kind of stepped in a little bit and was like, no, you know, I don't think that Sammy has it. Like, she didn't seem to be online during the idol search. And she helped cover for me pretty well, so I appreciate that, Krista.
And so I had to save his sorry ass and say, oh, I think Levi has it. Let's just plan on Levi having it. He got an advantage at the auction where he got to skip a round of idol clues. And they were like, oh my God, yeah, that makes sense. Oh my God, yeah, it's totally Levi.
Maybe Krista's not as big of a threat as I thought she was. And then the more I was thinking about it, when I was talking to other people, the more I was thinking about it, I realized Phil and Rob have a lot more people in this game that I would want to be wearisome of.
The 2 people who I shared that I have an idol with are both very active players, but they know how to use information well. And I think they've actually done a good job of guarding other people from searching for the idol. So we're all set on not splitting votes because they've been able to reassure folks that, you know, an idol probably won't get played.
I think that I've convinced
convinced myself that I should be voting out Rob and Phil. Now, the thing is, can I convince everyone else that we should also vote out Rob and Phil, and which one should we vote out? I just don't know.
I feel like I may be overplaying a little bit here early, but at the same time, I think on the positive side, I'm setting up good relationships for later in the game. So that's all I can really say at this point.
Rob tonight, apparently Sammy like flat out knew that something was up, which makes sense because she hasn't really been talking to anybody, and I guess no one was really talking to her. And he told her that she was getting voted off tonight.
We now get to go to tribal with the courts that I've already packed in my favor. I mean, I got Levi, Phil, Krista. They're ready to vote with me, and we're ready to get Sammy out of this game. Sammy, I love you. You're a sweetheart, but you're too likable. You bring too much joy into this game for other players. And if we wait any longer, they just will not vote you out. I saw it happen last season. So I'm sorry, Sammy, but it's your time to go.
Out of all the returnees, you're the only one who didn't reach out.
6 times a charm.
You should have all brought a torch with you to Tribal Council this evening. Ignite it now and get fire. Fire represents your life in this game. When your fire is out, so are you. So, Bikal, welcome to Tribal Council. It's been, I think, an interesting first few days of the game here in that we're already a week into the game, but this is only the second Tribal Council we've actually had so far. So we kind of have a lot to catch up on. And Rob, I want to start with you. Y'all came in wearing purple at the last challenge. It was a really strong show of camaraderie. And
Absolutely.
I'm noticing there's not as much purple this time. Like, what's the vibe at camp like these days?
Well, there's an easy answer for that. And when you win, it's easy to be a team and have the camaraderie. When you have to come to tribal, tensions start getting high, and it's more difficult. That's why you got to win and you got to stay strong. And when you lose, you try not to let too many cracks start forming. And I think we've got a cohesive group here. Overall, everyone's been very positive, even with the loss. And I'm very confident that moving forward outside of this tribal, we are going to be stronger than ever, regardless of the outcome.
Regardless of the outcome of this vote.
Correct.
So there is no one that you could vote off of this tribe that would not have a detrimental impact on the tribe as a whole.
Well, me, obviously. If they voted me out, then, it goes downhill from there.
Krista, I'm going to throw to you here. Rob builds out this impressive team that he gets to pick himself because of his auction advantage. You had the opportunity to pick which tribe you wanted to be on. Why Rob's team? Why Bikal? And why not Ashley's team, Gota?
Yeah, I don't think it's a secret that Rob and I have a complicated relationship. But I did want the opportunity to be on his tribe. He didn't pick me, and I wanted to show him that I'm valuable. And I think when you're not picked, you almost want to show that tribe and that person that, you do belong and you do want to prove yourself. So that's really why I chose this tribe.
Let's go to Laura here, who's a new player, not very experienced in Survivor. Tell me about the relationship building. How has it been for you getting to know these 6 other people?
I'd say for the most part, it's pretty good. Having, again, no experience doing anything and haven't really played, having come into this game not knowing anyone, it's been nice making new friends. So.
Levi, talk to me about the moments after that challenge. What was the conversation like? Was there a tone shift?
Better than you would think in a loss. We all got back to camp. We were discussing the challenge, specifically the puzzle, the difficulty of the puzzle, Because we lost, we didn't even get the chance to, get the correct answer. So we're talking through the correct answer and did finally land on that.
So, Sammy, let's talk about that puzzle because you were the anchor. It did come down to you. Do you feel vulnerable as a result, or do you think there's more going on with this vote than just that?
I don't really feel vulnerable because of the puzzle per se. I give mad props to Jenny if her puzzle was just as hard as mine was. She's very, very smart. I know that challenges are not necessarily my strong suit, but I do feel like I'm a good team player. So I don't know if necessarily people are making decisions based on just like how well our tribe will be able to do in challenges at this point. I think that it's like most of the people I think on this tribe are pretty smart and pretty strategic players. So,
Audrey, what's going on here? Are you all really just like best of friends after, a week in the game, or like where are the relationships forming right now?
Yeah, so it's definitely really hard. We definitely got along really well in the beginning. We definitely spent a lot of time, not necessarily just on our beach chat, but just messaging throughout the week. I think another thing that makes this a lot harder is that we were all celebrating together. We got some big news this weekend in world events that we were all celebrating about, which I think it impeded talks a little bit, but I think it just made it even harder for us because we were all like, whoopee. So it's been rough. It's been rough.
Phil, help me out here. How do you go from whoopee to figuring out who you're going to vote for? Like, what is informing the vote tonight?
Personally, I struggle with whether or not to go aggressive or go passive, right? If you go too aggressive, people find you to be somebody that should be a target next. If you go too passive, you may become the target and you weren't part of the conversations that got there. I think most people kind of took that approach too. It was hard to get names out of people early on. The person that I'm going to end up voting for was virtually the only name that had been mentioned, and it just caught some steam, and then it just became the vote, and it wasn't much for any particular reason.
Sean, it's me or Sammy. Like, let's just
Okay, thank you.
Let's cut to it.
Why is that?
Well, we were the only two names thrown out. I think Sammy and we both played last season.
We all have like agreed that it should be a returner who goes home. And Rob and Phil are a pretty solid voting block and won't vote against each other.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
I mean, every time I've ever talked to Rob about Phil, he's like, I don't want to vote Phil out. And every time I've talked to Phil about Rob, he's like, I don't want to vote Rob out. So those two won't really vote out each other. So it kind of leaves me and Krista.
Here's the thing. We know that Claire went home, and this season, fans versus favorite, obviously there's been previous tape to look at. People know who are the big targets in this game. Claire, obviously a huge threat in both seasons that she played. Who are the two biggest threats in this game? Krista and Sammy. Those were the two names that were thrown out. It's no secret. Krista went to the end. Sammy never got voted out. She lost at fire. I mean, these are two strong competitors. We know this season, those are the type of people who are going to have targets on their back. The consensus landed on Sammy would be the one that was getting the vote tonight. I had a conversation with Sammy earlier today. I let her know that it's not personal. I think that Sammy is an excellent player, definitely a strong competitor. At this point, we have to send somebody home, and she's a big target, and so that's who's going to be going home tonight, from my understanding. And we'll see how that shakes out. But beyond today, this group that we have here is cohesive. I mean, I feel like everybody, even Sammy, has brought a lot of camaraderie, a lot of chat to the table. And I do not think that we're going to be reaching across the aisle when the merge comes. I think that each and every one of us can count on each other. And if we vote collectively today, like people have been talking, then that builds trust that we can vote together.
I mean, I feel, really positively about this whole tribe. I think that all of them are great people. I think that they will do well. I was a little disappointed, and like, this isn't the Rob Kolbeck we all know that's like wanting to scheme right before the tribal council. It seemed a little boring, but it is what it is. He's switching up his gameplay, and I respect that.
So, unless he was lying to me and it's not me, then so be it.
It is time to vote. You will message me the name of the person that you want to vote out on Discord. You're going to DM the name of that person to me when I call on you. Rob, you're up first. I'll tally the votes. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. Okay, once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately by extinguishing their flame and turning off their camera. I'll read the votes. First vote. Sammy. Krista. That's 1 vote Sammy, 1 vote Krista. Sammy. That's 2 votes Sammy, 1 vote Krista. Sammy. That's 3 votes Sammy, 1 vote Krista. The second person voted off of Survivor Quarantine Fans versus Favorites. Sammy. That's enough. You need to extinguish your torch and turn off your camera. You will have a chance to get back into this game. According to your team captain, there is not one person that could have been lost that would take away from the camaraderie of this tribe. I think it's fair to say that now is when that statement gets put to the test. Grab your torches, head back to camp. Good night.